I'm here with Heather, and we're going to be talking about some fall gardening things, but I have a little bit of business to get through first. We're sorry we missed last week. We had a little bit of a scheduling snafu, but starting this week, we're going to be going every week, so every Tuesday at 4 o'clock, and we will be hosting this little sort of talk show, advice kind of things with some give and take for you to ask questions. I do want to say too that we are going to be doing a little giveaway every week. So if you post a question that we can answer while we're live right now, or you can ask a question later, or if you share the post because you want some friends to watch, or you just like our Facebook page, you'll be in the running for a $10 gift card, which we will award tomorrow, and we will post it on Facebook and also contact you. So that'll be really fun. We're here with Heather today. Gail is at a virtual trade show, shopping for next spring. Very exciting. We think way far ahead in the garden industry. And Heather, just tell us a little bit about what you do here at the Bruce Company.
Okay, so I'm supervisor of green goods. I oversee the atrium, well, the annuals, perennials, and nursery stock. We just got pumpkins in. That's very exciting. We've got a whole lot of different varieties and colors. We've got the different corn. We've got the corn stalks.
It's a really fun time here at the Bruce Company. We really like the change of seasons. And personally, this is one of my favorites. I love fall. Sort of very contemplative, but exciting at the same time. So we're going to start off by talking a little bit about our favorite plants for fall color. Because as the season starts winding down, flowers are fewer and far between, except, if you're looking at annuals, and we'll talk about those too, like chrysanthemums and pansies and that kind of thing. There's still some trees and shrubs and perennial plants that will give you really good fall color from now until when they lose their leaves, and sometimes that's not until mid to end of November. So you can get a lot of excitement out of plants. And so I have a couple here, and then Heather's going to talk about a couple of her favorites. So for perennials, I really love bluebells. The foliage comes in all sorts of great colors, these really deep purples and sort of bright pinks, really beautiful sage greens with silvery veining overtones. And they flower in the mid-spring. They attract hummingbirds, which is a really good quality, but I think the leaf color is really exciting. And right now, when stuff is starting to die back, coral bells stay partly evergreen. So this will be looking good in your garden for months yet. It might even be looking close to this next spring if we have a mild winter. Like, do you have a favorite perennial for fall color, Heather?
Oh, favorite perennial? I don't know. I'm a tomato and strawberry. So.
We have to get Heather to be more well-rounded.
Yeah.
She took over the what we call green goods, the outdoor green goods, about this time last year. So this has been her first spring and summer, so it's been a pretty steep learning curve, but she's doing a great job.
Yeah.
The yard looks fabulous. So what about a favorite tree or shrub for fall color?
Well, what I'm noticing right now, as I'm kind of going around the streets, I like the maples are starting to turn, some red tones. I noticed the other day, the honey locusts around my neighborhood have all got the golden yellow leaves falling. They look really pretty on the ground.
Yeah.
After they've fallen in the sun. I think it's fun. I like chokeberry. I think chokeberry is a really nice one for fall color. It's kind of an orangey red. And the berries will hold on for a little while into the fall.
The berries are good for a long time because birds aren't going to eat them until we've had a couple really hard frosts because
they're kind of big, yeah.
And they're super
sour,
acidic. They're called chokeberry for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I really like. We brought in this is Itea, or also called Sweetspire. No, yes, Sweetspire. I always get Sweetspire and Summer Sweet mixed up.
Me too.
So this is Henry's Garnet, and it's got a nice little kind of pendulous white flower, but the fall color is really good. And then it does get kind of a reddish stem through the winter. It's kind of low growing. Henry's Garnet, maybe 3 to 4 feet tall. There's one called Little Henry that's a little bit smaller than that. It likes a spot where it's going to get some shade in the afternoon. It does better in the morning some occasion, but it's really, really pretty. What about any ornamental trees? Like I know that Sue, or no, Deb, out in the nursery is crazy for heptacodium,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is seven sunflower.
Those are just starting to flower right now. A nice creamy white flower. There's not a lot that's going to be beginning to flower right now.
Right.
Also, like ornamental tree form hydrangea, panicled hydrangeas are starting to get that nice dark or pink
That
color.
pinky tone to the flowers.
I've been seeing that.
Oh, we've got a question. And I can't, I'm gonna have to Sue to read it because it's small. So, this is from Sherry. Can I trim back my vanilla strawberry hydrangea before winter?
You can remove the flower heads if you'd like. Some people leave them on for ornamental appeal. It's kind of a personal question. You don't want to trim back too far, depending. So if it's a tree, you can just take off the flower heads.
Yeah. But a lot of people like those flower heads left on during the winter because they look kind of interesting. The trick is then to get them off before they really start to leaf out next spring, because then those buds get kind of lost in the flowers. It makes it difficult to trim them out. So, but either way, panicled hydrangeas bloom on wood, so blooming or pruning them now or next spring doesn't affect whether or not you're going to get flowers. So that's a really good question. Thank you. So, oh, Taylor says he's got another question coming soon. This is from Kathy. This looks really silly. Thank you, Kathy. She treated her lawn with milky spore last year. Should she retreat again this year? Okay, Kathy. So if you use the powder milky spore, that's good for 10 years, one application, 10 years. If you use the granular one where you put it on with a regular spreader, you need to do 3 applications of that. One spring, one fall, and then the next spring, or fall, spring, fall. But 3 consecutive applications, and then you get the 10-year. So if you used the powder, you're good to go. So easy breezy, and it's supposed to last for 10 years. It's a really, I think that it's a big bite at the beginning, but if you kind of parcel it off over 10 years, it's a really economical and organic way to treat the grub stage of Japanese beetles, but only Japanese beetles, no other kind of beetles, just Japanese beetles. And since they spend a bunch of their lifespan munching your turf, it's good to sort of treat them with a little bit of something to knock them back in the turf so that they don't emerge and eat your plants. So we were also another question. Excellent. So this is from Helen. Helen wants to know the best way to prune a hydrangea tree. Ours is unable to stand on its own without stakes. They've had it for over a year. So I would say for the staking part, Helen, what you'll want to do is use 2 stakes that are about 18 inches away on the kind of windward side. I like to use pantyhose. I think they're the best because it lets it move a little bit, and that's how it's going to trigger some caliper growth, which will get the stem bigger and stiffer. And what about pruning, Heather?
The same with the flowers. You can leave them as long as you think they look nice, and then what you're going to want to do is just trim the flower heads back just to the end, like where the flower head ends, and you'll see the 2 little new buds coming for next year's new growth. So you would just trim the flower back to that point. Really, anytime, as soon as the flowers are not appealing to you anymore, and before the new leaves come out in the springtime.
And you can also take them back farther if you've got, like, sometimes hydrangeas will put like 1 or 2 like really whippy branches. You can prune those back. Just look for that pair of buds and just prune right above that pair of buds. You'll be good to go. So let's talk about pumpkins, Heather, because Heather brought some pumpkins. We have all kinds of super cool varieties. And so she brought out some of her faves. And it doesn't look like you brought any carvers out here other than that one
giant one. So I'll show you guys this. We have some really nice size, very big carving pumpkins this season. So these are thick-walled. I don't know the exact variety this year. Usually I do, but I know they're very thick-walled. They would be good for, what is that you do with the little wood, like the scraping, not carving.
Yeah, if you're going to sculpt them, you can engrave them.
Yeah, and they should hold up pretty nicely. I've got a few little, so very edible, although the skin is very thick, so it's kind of hard to cut with a knife. Be careful.
My husband takes a machete and he just like whacks it.
Yeah, I do like the dagger method, and then I just kind of pull it down.
What else you got there?
So I've got these little boo gourds. These are fun. It's just a little white pumpkin. This would be a fun one to paint maybe with your kids.
Or the fingernail polish and the floating on the water trick is really fun.
These, this would be fun. Like to dip them in the water.
I think we're going to do some videos in the next couple of weeks of different decorating ideas, and we'll be posting those on Facebook. And for sure, we're going to do the one you can either use spray paint. I like the fingernail polish; it makes them look marbled and really cool. So that's really fun.
I've done the spray paint before. It gets a little messy. You have to use like a lot of spray paint, and then I dipped them backwards because I feel like if you dip them with the bottom down, all the stuff is on the bottom.
Oh, see with the nail polish, it kind of stays on one side, and you go to the side and then lift up.
Oh, okay.
And then it kind of drapes over like a net. It's just a matter of technique.
I have a bunch of nail polish. Lisa.
Okay, bring it in.
Ready.
We'll get started.
Yeah.
What else? I like the super warty ones.
Yeah, this one's called Knucklehead.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a really popular one. It's just got a lot of colors in it. You know, you've got the orange, and then you've got all the little green and yellow spots, and we have these in. This is a medium size. There's some smaller than this, and there's some bigger than this one.
So as your annual containers are sort of starting to poo out a little bit, some of your summer blooming stuff doesn't look so great. You can pull those out and you can just stack some interesting gourds in your pot. It looks really cool. I noticed when we were out there pulling pumpkins that you have like
the stacks,
like the cairn of pumpkins out there where they're all stacked on top of each other. That looks really cool.
Oh, it's fun, and there's a lot of different sizes and colors, so you just kind of find which ones fit the best. So they
like
don't
a balance.
You
gotta live in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the zen of pumpkin decorating.
Yeah.
We also have, like just some things like pansies are really good this time of year. They'll last a long time. And then other things like ornamental kale or Swiss chard is really colorful that you can use to sort of update your pots. We'll have sticks soon that you can throw in there when you transition from fall decorating to the dreaded Christmas word, which we are all about right now. What else do we have, Heather?
So we have an assortment of little corns. So we have the baby corns and we have the bigger corns.
Deco corn.
So the deco corn. So sometimes what people do is kind of group 3 of these together, and then you put a little ribbon on it, and you can hang it on your posts by your house, your entryway.
I've got a little thing too where you can make time together and make garland, and we'll be doing that on kind of a Facebook thing too, but that's kind of fun. You can hang it on your door.
Favorite. I really love this one. I think it's the purple glass corn. I know we do sell like some of the seeds.
We
for
do
these
sell
type
seeds
of
for that
gourds.
in the spring. It is really pretty.
Yeah. And then I like this guy too, or the apple gourd. Can you guess why it's called an apple gourd?
Because it looks like an
It
apple.
looks just like an apple.
Those are good for a bird to make bird houses out of. But you have to dry them for like a year. You put them in a dry, airy place, kind of dark, and they get all moldy and disgusting. And then they dry to kind of that darker green color. And then you drill the holes in them and like shake the seeds out.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, all of those make the the ones with the necks, they call them birdhouse gourds.
Oh yeah.
Because you make birdhouses out of them.
Wow.
I know.
Well, I mean, I assumed by the name. I guess I've never seen one.
It's a time-consuming process. I can't say that I have ever done it myself.
Yeah.
I leave that to people who have that kind of time to sort of get some time.
Well, I'm sure there's people out there with some time.
So let's take a minute and let's talk a little bit about getting your yard ready for the inevitable slide into winter. And so there are some things that you should be thinking about, like protecting your trees and shrubs, anything that you planted. You can use any young trees, you'd want to use like the paper tape to protect the tender bark from rabbits. You could use the hardware mesh kind of sunken in a little bit. If you have a mice or a vole problem, they'll girdle a tree and nothing flat. If you have deer, though, you're going to want to use something a little more substantial than the paper. We've got the spiral plastic tree guards, and then also the ones that look like corrugated drain towel with a slit, and you just sort of pop that on there. And that'll help protect them. I would also say that we had a lot of rain a couple weeks ago, but make sure everything is getting a good soak every couple of weeks.
All the way until
Or so.
Thanksgiving, maybe even later, depending on the
Depending,
weather.
Yeah,
We're gonna
depending
keep
what
them
the
wet
ground is doing.
all the way till the ground's frozen.
Yes. And speaking of ground freezing, that's a time when we, as the ground starts to cool, start to talk about spring blooming bulbs. Blah, spring blooming bulbs. I don't think that there is any example of delayed gratification for a gardener other than planting bulbs in the spring or in the fall and trusting that in the spring you're going to have something. Yes. And so lots of them, like, like tulips and crocus, they would like it to be the ground to be a little cooler before they get started. But right now you could be planting like daffodils. You could plant like winter aconite, which is that little yellow buttercuppy flower that comes in, or anything that's kind of on the soft side. So I would say for sure things like this fritillaria or imperial crown. It's kind of a stinky bulb, which makes it really good if you plant this near your tulips because critters hate this and will not dig it up and eat it if they smell this. So
What
this
is
is
What is it?
it's called crown imperial, and it has a tall stem and then these really cool either yellow or orange kind of
Bell-shaped
downward.
flowers?
Yes,
Oh, I've
and
seen
it's
that.
like a crown.
Mhm.
So fritillaria or fritz, as we like to call them. Also, it's a good time to plant allium, and everybody is always crazy for the allium when they're blooming, and they're not. You get a few as perennials, but not very many.
Yeah.
Better, much more cost effective to come in and get them now as bulbs. I think we've got like 13 different varieties still, and then some combo packs. So these are great for summer.
Yeah, and I like the color of it reminds me of like a dandelion. Like a dandelion before you blow all the little seeds
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
I don't know, I just really like the look of those.
I know people too that harvest them, let them dry, and then they spray paint them kind of some crazy colors, and then use them for.
Do they dry like stiff? Do they
Yeah.
stay in a ball shape?
Yeah,
That's
they
really
do.
cool. I didn't know that.
Kind of fun.
See, I'm learning new things every day, Lisa.
That's good. We all are. So, thank you for joining us. I would say again, don't forget that you should like us or comment later or share the post, and we will put you in the drawing for a gift card. We're going to be doing that every week. And you can still ask questions probably into tomorrow. I'll be checking the Facebook page, and so we'll answer anything that you want to ask on the post if you are watching this not live, kind of after the fact.
Mhm.
And so we will see you next week, Tuesday, same time, same bat time, same bat station, Tuesday at 4:00, and we will be back with another edition, and we'll have a brand new topic for you. So stay tuned, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.